And now, in studio, bringing his Midwest values from the Show Me State to the land of San Diego. He's a triple threat, licensed as an attorney, mortgage broker, and a top producing realtor who's crushing the competition. Here to deliver you what's happening in the trenches of the market. Your host, Michael Gaddis.
Welcome to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of michaelgaddis.com and frontierloangroup.com. I am here every Monday night at 7 p.m. to talk about anything and everything related to real estate. And before I get started, I want to take just a moment to thank all my guest hosts from last week. I had Oakwood Escrow on, and they ran the first two segments, so I want to thank Angela and Molly for coming in and doing that. And I want to thank Robert Kenyon from First Cabin Travel. He came in and did the last two segments, and he did a great job, and I just want to thank them for taking time out of their busy days to come and cover for me. Well, where was I? I can tell you where I was. I was in Kansas City, Missouri. That's right. And let me just tell you something for everybody in San Diego. The next time somebody says they're freezing, I'm going to get very, very upset. Because none of you know what freezing is. How do I know what freezing is? How do I know? Because last Thursday night, a week ago Thursday, I was in Arrowhead Stadium, the home of the Kansas City Chiefs. The air temperature was 20 degrees. And let me tell you something. First of all, that stadium is nuts. It rocks, and it's an incredible experience. But you add in the fact when you're there and it's 20 degrees, and that's not the wind chill factor. And for those of you in San Diego who've never heard the term wind chill factor, that's a good thing. I hope you never have to do it, but what happens is sometimes because of the wind, the air actually feels colder than it really is. And the worst part about being in the stands is, besides all of the the loudness. I mean, Kansas City, if you didn't know this, holds the Guinness Book of World Records for the loudest stadium in the world. It is insane how loud that stadium gets. But the part I hated the worst is for the first two quarters I was fine. I was fine. I had like 3 layers of long underwear on. I looked like that little kid from A Christmas Story. Remember that movie? He's all wrapped up there like that. No, you know what happens if you don't have good shoes on? That cold from the concrete starts seeping through your shoes by halftime. And by halftime, that's when it starts hitting you. And that cold just creeps up your legs. And when I'm saying cold, I'm saying cold. To put it this way, I don't know what you guys have your freezers set at home, in your house. But this is 20 degrees. I saw bags of ice laying on the ground that had been there for hours, and they were just fine. They were just fine walking in towards the stadium. So anyway, I always hear people on the beach or doing whatever they're saying, "Oh, I'm freezing." It's not freezing. You're chilly. There's a difference between being chilly and freezing. And I watched the game, just so you know, on Saturday, and it was a terrible game for me because I'm from Kansas City, so I'm a Chiefs fan. It was a terrible game, but it was 10 degrees. So it was 10 degrees colder than when I was there. And I heard that the Packers played a game in 10 below. Is that right, Paul? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
10 below zero. How much of a fan do you have to be to go to a game at 10 below zero?
You have to be a pretty big fan, but if I had seen tickets, I'd probably still go too.
You would go?
Yeah.
But Paul, what before you make that statement, what's the coldest you've ever been in a stadium?
Not really cold in a stadium. The coldest I've ever been is in Washington, D.C., walking around the National Mall in January. It was about 2 or 3 degrees, plus it was windy.
Yeah, but you weren't in a stadium standing on a block of cement.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You're a San Diego guy. That's right. Yeah, that's right. You have that. You live in a bubble. You're a bubble boy. So that's where I was, everyone. I was back in Kansas City, freezing. I mean, and it's different. They're all used to it back there. They just, they walk around like it's no big deal, and I'm bundled up. I'm like, this is terrifying. I have some other of my friends, they live in Florida, southern Florida, and they were sent something on our Facebook page. They said they had this picture of the United States, and it was all like blue and different shades of blue, except for Florida, which was like orange and red. And they were like, oh, I sure feel sorry for everybody in the rest of the United States. All of our sympathy is coming towards you for the. I'm sure it is. That's why you're putting that up there, so you could like take a picture of yourself, you know, at the beach, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are freezing to death right now." But you know, you always have those wise friends that do that kind of stuff, you know. So anyway, on to the topic at hand. So the topic at hand is Fallbrook Real Estate. A couple weeks ago, I told you about a listing I have in Fallbrook, California, and you know that listing is an incredible listing. And so the seller actually listened to the segment. She said, "You know, Michael, I appreciate the fact that you talked about my listing on the radio, but you know, to be honest with you, you didn't do that good of a job." She said, "You did not really sell my house on the radio. You did not tell them what it really is about." And I said, "What are you talking about? I was very emphatic about it." And she says, "No." So she took the time to write up this long email to me telling me all the things about her house that I did not tell all of you. So I am going to tell you all so that Victoria will be happy with me. So here, anyway, the address of this property is 558 Tumble Creek Terrace, and it's in Fallbrook. Now, I know a couple weeks ago we talked a little bit about Fallbrook, how it still has that rural kind of atmosphere, yet in its proximity to the ocean is still remarkable considering, you know, how you feel when you're there. So this property at 558 Tumble Creek Terrace is in an area called Tumble Creek Estates, which is one of the 3 most prestigious neighborhoods, according to the seller, in Fallbrook. The other 2 being Rolling Hills and Morrow Hills. And you know, one of the things that she said about this, and this is her words. These are her words. Driving into Tumble Creek, you can't help but notice the manicured winding roads lined with white rail fencing and with mature magnolia and citrus trees. Custom homes on acreage welcome you to a neighborhood that watches out for its neighbors and historically hosts an annual hoedown block party. Tumble Creek is a safe and special place to make your home. Doesn't that sound like the Masters tournament? It sounds like somebody from the Masters, you know, the Masters golf tournament talking. Yeah, it's like Jim Nance needs to come in here. He's from San Diego, isn't he? We should have him come in and read this. This is exactly what he needs to read. So anyway, the seller was telling me that when she bought this house, she bought it because she had 5 children. She wanted to buy a home that was large enough to accommodate her 5 children. And yet also, she didn't want to feel so close to her neighbors that she felt like she could, you know, reach her hand out her kitchen window, knock on their window, and borrow salt without leaving her house. So that's why she ended up picking this property. And this property it's on over an acre. And you know, when they first bought it, they had 50 lemon trees on it. You know, different types of citrus. But they replaced them and they did kind of a 1 each kind of family orchard. So they have like a 1 purple plum tree now. It has 1 white peach, 1 yellow peach, 1 nectarine, 1 pomegranate, you know, persimmons, tangerines, navel oranges, and on and on and on. So that's one of the virtues you get when you live in those semi-rural and semi-rural areas like Bonzo and Fallbrook. You get to have things where you can just go pick your fruit off your tree anytime you want. Now, with that being said, you have to take care of the trees and you have to make sure you fertilize them and you water them properly. But if you do, that is one of the benefits of doing it. I myself live in Bonzel, which neighbors Fallbrook, so I have the luxury of being able to do those types of things as well. So anyway, there's a lot of fruit trees there, as she wanted me to tell you about. She also wanted me to tell you that the house has 3/4 inch common cherry Canadian floors, which are unique and gorgeous, she says, because of their natural beauty. And that is true. If you look online and you go to Google and you type in 558 Tumble Creek Terrace, the thing that you'll see in those pictures that'll pop out at you is the flooring. The flooring is remarkable. And I mean, literally, I had a professional photographer go over there and he called me and says, "That is incredible flooring." And I said, "I know it is." And it really pops in the picture. So when you guys take a look at that, you'll see what I'm saying. So it's Canadian cherry wood is what it is. The other thing she wanted me to really point out in the kitchen was the granite. She said that she spent a lot of time trying to find this particular type of granite. And the reason she picked it is because it's embedded with so many different colors, including charcoal gray, black, beige, subtle white, and then there are these large, soft pink crystals that just kind of pop out at you. So she was really wanting me to talk a little bit about those soft pink crystals. So I think that's you know, something else that you should really go online and take a look at. This house at 558, for some reason I'm having some trouble saying 558 Tumble Creek Terrace in Fallbrook. It's listed for $749,000. It has 3 bedrooms, 3 full baths. It also has 2 optional bedrooms and is in 3,325 square feet. It was built in 1980, but it has been remodeled and it sure looks like a much newer house than that. And so I encourage you guys to go to the website, or just type in 558, to go to my website, or type in 558 Tumble Creek Terrace. If nothing else, just click on the house and take a look at the floors, because I'm telling you, the floors are very unique. And I see a lot of houses, so I know unique floors when I see them. So go and take a look, just to, if nothing else, to take a look at those unique floors that you have, or that they have in there. And if you guys are interested, you guys can contact me about this house. You can reach me out, you know, go to my website, michaelgaddis.com, or call me at my office. So anyway, after the break, I have a very special guest for you. We're going to talk about community centers, and I have a very special guest coming on here. So don't go away. After the break.